Okay, so what I want to talk about right now is food. There's so many different varieties of food, and God gave us He just gave us so many choices of good things that we can choose from to eat. And I used to think in terms of, well, I'm so overwhelmed, there's so much out there, and I was used to just eating just one kind of lettuce or one kind of potato, one kind of tomato, one kind of this, just the one kind. There's so many different varieties, and I have a hard time making decisions. I have a hard time with choices, so I'm like, just give me the simple thing, and I don't want all these choices. But no, that's not the way God planned it. He planned it to give us all these different varieties so that we would never get bored. And after a while, you come to appreciate those varieties. At first, when you're trying to learn everything, it is good for repetition in the beginning to have the same thing. But after a while, it will get old. So add something new. Keep introducing something new. Introduce something new. And you never get bored. And then when you take all these different varieties and then you mix it up different ways, you never get bored with it. And your taste buds don't get bored, and it's a good thing. God says, I have given you this feast. I mean, good stuff, all this good stuff, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, seeds. Legumes. I've given you all this. But yet you are eating out the dumpster. You're eating out the garbage can, the same old stuff all the time, and have given you this beautiful bounty of abundance, a feast, a table full. And I am learning to come and feast at that table, so I want to teach you about that. Just don't be overwhelmed by all the options. God gave it to us. Just introduce it to your family and to yourself a little by little. And I also want to talk about how I said before, people that I have heard from before, and this isn't just in health, but in relationships and in spiritual things. They tell you the what to do, they tell you the why, but they don't tell you the how, or they don't show you the how. This is true with healthful living, this is true in relationships, and this is true in spiritual things and growing our relationship with God. And, I also want to talk a little bit about water. Water is so important because water helps us not only to hydrate our body so that everything in our body will flow and work the way that everything gets to where it needs to get to, but it also is very important for elasticity and resiliency in our skin. As you begin to eat healthy, you're going to begin to lose weight, and as you begin to lose weight, there's going to be loose extra skin, even if it's only 20 or 30 pounds. And yes, exercise does some of that, but water will help tighten your skin, and it makes it elastic and flexible and resilient. Also makes your joints very flexible. You're not as easily to tear a ligament or something if you are hydrating your body with water. So it makes everything tight and smooth, and it will just make that skin more elastic. So I would say, they say human being needs, an adult needs, a half a gallon of water. That's 64 ounces, a half a gallon. That's 8 ounce glasses. You've heard of that. 64 ounces of water a day, just to meet your bare minimum metabolic requirements, the processes of the body, just to get everything flowing with ease, so you don't have dis-ease or disease. See, a disease is anything that is uneasy, doesn't flow, it doesn't have ease. So water, just doing that one thing, will cause be able to have ease instead of disease. So water is very important. Half a gallon a day to start out. Work your way up to a gallon. You might not need a gallon, but half a gallon is bare minimal requirement. And if you can do more, I don't know that you'd need more than a gallon, but somewhere between a half gallon and a gallon a day. When you get your glass of water, don't just sip little sips. Every time you pick up that glass, make it count. Gulp it down 10 big gulps, and it'll make it go a lot quicker. I personally, especially on days when I exercise, by the time my morning is done and my exercise is done, just in the morning I have finished a half a gallon, just by morning. By noon, by the end of the morning. So then I have the whole rest of the evening to finish the other half gallon. But I can get a whole half gallon just in the morning. Now you'll work up to that. The one bad thing about drinking a lot of water is you're going to find that you're going to have to be going to the bathroom a lot. And yes, it is frustrating. It's annoying, but it's worth it in the end. Just get used to it. It's just something you gotta get used to. It's not good to hold it in because it's holding in toxins and waste. So go. But at night is when it's really annoying because I get up every morning at 3 o'clock like clockwork. But eventually your body will adjust. It just takes a while. I would say months and months, maybe even a year. It really takes a while for your body to adjust. But the thing is when you drink a lot of water, you're not losing water. You're not gonna, when you're drinking a lot of water, you're not retaining water. You would think drinking all this water, you're gonna bloat up and retain water. You're not retaining water. The reason the body will retain water is when you're not giving it water. So it thinks there is a drought, there is a lack of water, the water supply must be low, so I need to retain water is what the body's saying. I need to retain water. That's when you retain water. When you're constantly giving your body water, it's going to constantly let go of it. So there's no way you would be drinking too much or retaining it because you're constantly going to the bathroom. So you're constantly, as it goes in, it comes out. And you're not going to be retaining water. The body's going to let go of it because it's like, oh, there's plenty of water. There's a fresh, abundant supply of water because I'm constantly getting it. I can let go. I don't need to hold on to this water. And so you don't. Now salt will cause you to bloat some and retain some water. So that's why we want our salt intake to be lower. Exercise. There's a lot of reasons for exercise, and there's a lot of reasons to eat right. At first, some of the reasons tend to be because I want to lose weight, I want to be able to fit my clothes, I want to look good, I want to look better. In the beginning, that is some of the reasons. And also, I want to feel better, I want to have energy. Those were some of the reasons that I started out with. Well, then what happens whenever you get into your little bitty cute little clothes and cute dresses and you've got a flat tummy, you don't have to worry about your tummy anymore, and you're looking good, you've down to the weight you want to be, then what? Then what's the goal? Then you need to maintain. That would be the goal. And all the benefits that you get are going to help you be motivated to maintain. But some of the other things you might not have thought about that are going to be benefits that you're going to gain and things that you want to work towards, especially with working out with weights, is that first of all, you're going to gain strength. You're going to gain endurance. Strength is great it makes every job easier. Bringing in the groceries is so much easier when you have strength. And when you have endurance, you're not winded, you're not out of breath doing things. You're just so much stronger. You're healthier. You can do things and you feel younger. You're actually getting younger instead of older, So today I'm 35 and next year I'll be 34. So, just think of it in terms like that. If it shaves 11 years or 9 years off your life, well, it's hard to think of that because, I don't know how long I'm going to live. Well, what you do is you just take your age right now and you subtract years. So that would make me 24 years old. And I feel younger than that. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 11 weeks on this menu plan, and I feel younger than 24. I feel like I don't know, I feel like I'm like 8 years old, or 14 at least. I feel very young. I feel full of energy, full of life. I feel awesome. The other things are bone density. I bet you never thought about your bones. I mean, who really thinks about, oh, I want stronger bones? You don't really think about that. But you can actually increase your bone density, which is the thickness of your bones. You can actually, I know this sounds crazy, but you can actually gain a little height by increasing your bone density. If you know, you're like, oh, I'm sure I can never be tall. Well, you probably won't ever be tall because you're not going to gain feet, but an inch. And an inch is a lot. You could grow an inch by gaining bone density. And not only that, but you strengthen your bones. And by strengthening your bones, it makes them a lot less likely to break. That's good for if you fall or you're playing sports, or if when you get older in your age, 70s, 80s, and you do fall, which hopefully you'll have better balance because you've been eating healthy. But if you do fall and your bones are healthy, you're not going to break a bone as easy. And that's very important as you get older. And you want to live a long, healthy life and be young and be vital and be full of life, and to be able to not have high cholesterol, not have a heart attack, not have all these problems, not have stroke, not have high blood pressure, not be on all these medications, not be in a nursing home. I mean, Paul Bragg was 90 something years old, and he was so young. He was out surfing. He was surfing at 90 something years old. And the only way he ended up dying was from a surfing accident. It wasn't because of a health issue. Now, wouldn't you want to live like that? That is awesome. It is possible. And people in other countries besides America, they live a lot longer than we do. The other thing I want to talk about is, what is so exciting is that the things that I used to did not like, I like now. And the things I used to like, I don't like anymore. And the things that used to be hard for me are now easy. And the things that used to be easy for me are now hard. Let me put that into perspective. It's very exciting. Because at first, when you start doing these things, it's so awkward, it's so overwhelming, that it gets easier and easier. And the more easy it gets, the more fun it gets, as far as cooking and learning all these things about food and where to get it. But the exercise, I have new habits, and my old habits are going away. I mean, they're almost just gone instantly. When I started eating right and eating less, I therefore had more energy, like tons more energy, which that in turn, I didn't even have to tell myself, hey, I need to exercise. I couldn't wait to do something. I had all this energy. What do I do with it? I need to go in here and jump around. I need to go in here and exercise. Listen, it makes you want to exercise. You have to. It's like before it hurt to exercise. Now it hurts not to exercise. Before it hurt for me to sit up straight. Now it hurts for me to hunch over. Before it hurt for me to get up out of bed in the morning. Now it hurts to lay in bed. Amen. I used to lay in bed. Now I don't even know what it's like to lay in bed. As soon as I'm awake, I'm up. And as soon as I'm in bed, I'm asleep. I don't even know what it means to lay in bed anymore. I might do it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then I am like, I got to get out of this. That's tops, and that's like on a sleep-in day. Not hours and hours. So, I look forward to talking with you more. One other quick little thing that I want to say about fasting is that when you fast those first Before you begin your program, or however many days, I would say a minimum of 2 days before you start your diet program. I would say, um, you know, the part that's so great about that is the cleansing. And your body, it takes a lot of energy for your body to digest food. And so when your body's trying to digest food, it doesn't have time to do all the other things it needs to do, like to get you healthy. So when you fast and you don't give it that task of having to digest food, it can work on other things. It can clean house, so to speak, and that's the way I like to call it. I also like to look at it as like a defragmenting. The way a computer would defragment kind of puts everything back where it needs to go. You've got all this overburdened, sluggish digestive system. You've got all these problems coming and oozing out from every part of your body, whether it be your ear or your head or your foot or your stomach or whatever. Lungs, heart, whatever, everything's backed up. And if you will give your body a break, give it a break from food, it will have the energy that it needs to clean house. Now it's like, yay, I don't have to worry about food. I have all this, your body and your cells are saying, I have all this extra energy and time to not have to be burdened with that food that I've got to sort through. I can sort through all these metabolic processes in this body and get everything, the house cleaned, get everything organized and put where it needs to go. Then your body will be ready to receive food. Just like when you get your house clean, you're ready to receive people and more things, but you can't if you have everything a mess. So give your body a break from food, let it get its house clean, and then, yes, your body's going to scream and cry that it's not getting what it wants, but it will thank you in the end.